Well, I've gone and done it again, guys. I've gone and bought another motorbike. I think this is my fifth bike or sixth bike I've had in like the 2 years I've been riding. So it's a bit ridiculous. But you know, I had the CBR1000 and that was a really good bike, but God, like so much power for the road, you know, like it's you know, an amazing bike. You know, any sort of Litre super sport motorbike is just amazing, but yeah, I just found it was just a bit too much for me. So, you know, after a bit of contemplating and searching around, I came across a new kind of bike. It's not quite a sport tourer, not quite a super sport. So here it is, the 2000 model Honda VFR800. So not quite a 600, not quite 1,000, 800. You know, about 55 foot-pound of torque, which I think, after riding this for a while, I think is the perfect amount of torque for the street. I think they make about 100 horsepower, so, you know, I wouldn't mind a little bit more, but, you know, it's a sport tourer, perfect for the fucking street. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ride the damn thing. So yeah, the first thing you'll probably notice is that it's got a bit of a growl on the exhaust. And yeah, it doesn't fuck around with speed or power. It's a VFR800, so, you know, a lot more down bottom torque for the street. Top end isn't, like, you know, boring, but yeah, I wouldn't say it's like a roller coaster going down a hill like a super sport inline 4 would be. Ooh. So yeah, what do I like about the bike? I guess the riding position's pretty good. It's not like, you know, full cruiser where your body position's, you know, like 0 degrees up, you know, just facing straight up, and it's not quite super sport where you're like 40 degrees down and you're like, oh, my wrists, oh, my back, oh, my legs, you know, after half an hour of riding. So yeah, I think it's actually about halfway in between, so, which is good, because I'm not too old yet, but I'm not 18 anymore, that's for sure. So, you know, I like to do a bit of long trips every now and then, usually about every 6 months, which is kind of corresponded with when I've got new bikes. You know, I've had a super sport, then I'm going, oh fuck, I need a sport tourer now because I want to go on a trip. So with any luck, this thing will last me, because yeah, it does give me that, you know, I can still lean into a corner and it feels pretty good. It's nowhere near as good as, you know, like the latest super sports or anything, or even super sports of the time. It does give you a lot more control than previous sport tourers I've had, where they've had like a bar instead of like clip-ons. So yeah, when I got it, the handling, it was acceptable for the street, but yeah, once you got in the twisties, it was pretty floaty. Yeah, the rear shocks on these are very boingy. They you know, they usually have to like tighten them up right up to the top of the preload and the rebound, and you know, and then they're like acceptable for the street, and then, you know, you actually get up to any high speed sort of stuff, you're bouncing around, so could have been worse. And yeah, the fronts are, you know, pretty weak in the dampening and stuff, so once I took care of that, it's yeah, it's sort of like I've got to like relearn how to ride the bike again. as a lot of people will probably say about these types of bikes, you know, not the most boring bike, not the most exciting bike, you know. A lot of people do say this model is probably one of the best all-rounder bikes you can get. People track them. I haven't tracked mine yet because none of my friends have gotten their act together and we've organised a day for the track yet. But that's another story. But yeah, you know, I've done a few trips, you know, long distance, and after, you know, I've fixed the windshield and stuff, you know, it has gotten a lot better. So I think the biggest thing I like about it is that you can just keep riding it. and it doesn't kill you. You know, if you just want a bike that you can just get on, do whatever you want with. You know, if you only had to have one bike, this would probably be it, to be honest. You know, or one. If I don't have a car, you see, so you know, every day I don't want to get on some crazy fucking fancy super bike, because A, they're hard to ride all the time, and B, you know, it's a big responsibility. You know, so it's just like having a really, really high maintenance hot girlfriend. And you think, oh, this is really good. All my mates think it's fucking sick, and you think it's fucking sick. You know, like the first couple of months, you're like, oh my god. But yeah, like just after a while, it, you know, just wears you down. Especially if you don't have something else to switch it up with, like an easier sort of bike to ride. I think, yeah, if you have like one of those crazy super bikes, you need like a contrast. You need like some, you know, Toyota Camry in the garage, or you know, like a fucking street triple or something. Not that street triples are bad, but you need something that's a bit easier to ride from time to time. So yeah, you know, being a university student that I am, and my limited funds, I thought, fuck, I need a bike that, you know, can do a bit of everything, that's cheap, that's fun. You know, it's not some like old school carbureted 500 or something that, you know, it's slow as fuck. It is quite quick. I think when they're running well, they do about 11 second quarter miles. So that's plenty. That's heaps fast. It doesn't give you that, like, you know, oh my god of the Litre bikes. Oh fuck. That was close. Motherfucker cut the corner and everything. Anyway. Yeah, it doesn't give you that holy shit, oh, I'm gonna die on the Litre bike sort of feeling when you get up from the top. But I mean, you're definitely speeding very fast when you use this thing to its capabilities. So I like that. It also sounds pretty good. The V4 sounds amazing. You know, I haven't really. It sounds like a V8 supercar, to be honest. You know, I haven't really. I've heard it on some, like, you know, expensive Euro bikes, this sort of sound. But yeah, for like a couple of grand sort of Japanese bike, it's pretty unusual. So yeah, it's a good bike.